If you've been watching my videos for a while, you'll remember I went over 5 video games that could be considered furry. This video is a little different, as the characters I mentioned can be found from video games that aren't furry at all. Hello everyone, I'm solarsaber, and today I'll be telling you my favorite furry characters from video games. Some of these were hard to pick, and I had to think about if they could actually be considered furry, but hopefully most of you will agree with me. These characters are not in any order, by the way, I'm just listing them. First up, we have Sveta from Golden Sun Dark Dawn. If you are even aware this game exists, I applaud you. Golden Sun is one of my favorite series, and I'm still upset this game left us on a cliffhanger 12 years ago. But anyways, that's not what this video is about. Sveta is one of the main characters in this game, and she belongs to a race called Beastmen. Most of the time, she looks like this, which is already really furry looking. But she can also transform into a beast, which is literally just a furry. Interestingly, she does not use weapons like the other characters in the game. She literally just punches and kicks everyone with her giant claws, which I thought was pretty cool as a kid. You also get to use her powers to track down scents. Pretty furry if you ask me. Next, from The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, Sidon. I guess Sidon is technically a scaly, but that's still part of the furry community, so he's in here. Breath of the Wild might be my favorite game ever, so I had to include a character from it, and I'm sure many of you would agree with my choice. Sidon is great. I love him. He's just so nice and the ultimate hype man. I mean, come on, tell me you didn't feel proud with all the encouragement he gave you throughout the time you spent with him. Sidon is amazing. I love him. If you don't, something is wrong with you, and that is that. So to continue, I ran into a complicated roadblock. Obviously, I wanted to include a character from Sonic the Hedgehog, but I love all the characters from Sonic. I really like how they interact with each other in order to create a really interesting story depending on the game you're playing. If I had to pick one, I think I would go with Knuckles. This is mainly because of how funny he was in the second movie that came out, but so many of the characters are tied for me. I love Sonic, Shadow, Blaze, Rouge, Knuckles, Tails, I just like all the Sonic characters. A game that I think is a masterpiece but will never play again because it made me cry too much is Spiritfarer, and Astrid is my favorite character from it. If you're unaware of the plot of Spiritfarer, you play as someone who is helping spirits cross over to the afterlife by helping them complete their final needs and desires. If you want to play the game, skip over this part because obviously spoilers. When she was alive, Astrid was a young woman who helped hide Jewish children in her basement during World War II. She dedicated her life to helping people. You don't learn this until later in the game, but Astrid is revealed to actually be the player's grandmother. Not biological grandmother, but she sort of took the player in. Astrid is such a nice character and I love her personality a lot. Every spirit has a nickname for you, and Astrid calls you Munchkin. How adorable is that? Her hug animation is extremely cute, and I cried when it was finally time to let her cross over. Now those of you that have been around for a while should know I am a rhythm game enthusiast, so this list would be incomplete without mentioning Parappa from Parappa the Rapper. Parappa the Rapper is a really silly game, where you repeat after various characters by pressing the correct buttons on the controller. I believe the second game is a lot better than the first, but I enjoyed both of them. Parappa himself is a really optimistic kid who believes he can get things done by just believing in himself. I think that's very cute, and I love him for it. There's also a spin-off of this game called Jammer Lammy, where you play as Lammy, who uses a guitar. That game is really hard to get the hang of, as for some reason it requires you to be way more precise than Parappa, but it's still pretty fun, and I like Lammy. And of course, I could not forget to include the best boy, Ralsei from Deltarune. Why Ralsei and not Azrael, you ask? I don't know, man, I just like Ralsei a lot more. His personality is really sweet, and I think it's very cute how he genuinely just wants to make friends after being alone for so long. I also really like the pitch used for his voice, it just scratches my brain for some reason. When he interacts with Chris and Susie, it makes for some really funny moments, so yeah, Ralsei deserves a place on this list. Now I know I said in my original video game video that Five Nights at Freddy's wasn't a furry game. I know it creates a lot of furries, but the game itself is not furry. However, that does not mean the characters are not furries, because they are. And my favorite furry from Five Nights at Freddy's is Roxanne Wolf. Should I be afraid of her? Probably, but I am not. She is simply an insecure puppy who covers it up with extreme arrogance, and I want to give her a hug. Also, I think her design is super cool. In the game, when she walked around blind asking if she was still beautiful, it literally broke my heart. I know she's trying to kill you, but I still have sympathy. If it wasn't obvious by some of my previous videos, Pokemon is my favorite game series, so it would be a disservice to not include one in this video. I didn't want to just name my favorite Pokemon, it's Raichu by the way, because I wanted to pick an actual character with a personality. So that's why I picked Grovyle from Pokemon Mystery Dungeon Explorers of Sky. If you have not played this game, please do. It is one of the best games I have ever played. As most of you know, in the Mystery Dungeon series, you are a human who gets turned into a Pokemon and you lose your memory. In Explorers of Sky, Grovyle is at first a villain because he goes around stealing time gears, which are very important items that keep control of the flow of time so nothing goes out of whack. However, it is later revealed that Grovyle is someone you worked with as a human. He's from the future, and was stealing the time gears because the future is literally frozen and he needs them to save the world. Grovyle is a super interesting character, and I can't possibly explain all of the Explorers of Sky plot about him, but he is so cool. And those are all my favorite furry characters from video games. If there's a huge character I missed, I probably didn't include them because I haven't played the game they're in. I know many of you are gonna comment, what about Purro from Change, Ratchet from Ratchet and Clank, Fox from Star— I have not played those games, so I don't have an opinion on those characters, sorry. But let me know your favorite furry video game characters in the comments. Thank you so much for watching, and remember, shine bright.